some clapping emojis. Welcome on board, ma. The floor is yours, ma.
All right, thank you very much. Um, hmm, I'm very happy to be here. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you again to Andrew, the founder of Go Peace for Africa, who's my friend. I'm very delighted to be here. One of the things that I really like doing, or I enjoy doing, is speaking to young people, speaking to students. So I'm very delighted to be here. And I'm happy because I'm going to be sharing my story, going to share with you how I started. I did not just wake up one morning and become all the things that you have read in my bio or you have heard about me or even seen about me. So it's going to be an interesting time. So yeah, let me see all the comments. Let me see if you're here and you're live, you're joining us. I want to see your comments. I want to see you. Um, Let me know that you're here, you're listening as much as possible. All right, Zainab, thank you so much. Um, Bella, okay, I see the fire emoji. All right, let's bring out the heat. Tessie, good job, good job. Okay, let's bring the heat. We're raising the heat up here. All right. So this is very interesting. We're gonna have an interesting time talking about my journey, talking about how you can also get to a better level. I'm not saying you should be like me, but be better. Okay. So I'll just introduce myself very briefly because you've read my bio. Once again, my name is Freda Anyanwu and I'm the founder of EBH Africa. EBH Africa is a digital platform that provides a place where entrepreneurs can learn, connect, and also thrive, right? So we offer educational services, we offer community, we offer support services, and access to funding to entrepreneurs across Africa. And over the years, I have worked almost a decade with entrepreneurs, with businesses in different stages, from idea stage to the execution stage to expansion to proof of concept and all that. I have worked with people who are in different sectors. I have worked with people across, Nigeria, Africa, and beyond. And then also, I have attained certain level of certifications that has helped me also build my competence. So today we're talking about serving to validate your competence. And I find it very interesting because this is how my journey started. This is how my journey, began. I started building my self-worth, my competence because of how I was serving. And a lot of people have a misconception about what service is about. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Some people think serving is, oh, I know Andrew, and I'm just going to be carrying his bag. I'm just going to be, following him everywhere. That's what people think is service. But service is way more than what people see. There's a whole dynamic to what service is about. You might be working, you might be doing a job, you might be fulfilling a responsibility, and that's you. But when you take it a step further and you're doing so much more that I will explain in the course of this session, you are now beginning to serve. So I'm going to say it again. So this is how I'm going to do this class because it is not a Zoom class. So I can't really see everybody who's live, and I can actually call your names and say, hey, well, let's be interactive and all of that. But this is what it is. When I say something and it resonates with you, please type it in the comments so I get to see that you're listening. And at some point, let me know that you're listening and you're also following by once in a while dropping your emoticons so I know that we are together. All right. Okay, so let's start with the idea of service. What exactly is service? So the definition of service is to help. The definition of service is to help or to carry an action that stands in for someone or that meets the need of someone. And that is definition of service. So In a nutshell, service is the way of helping someone or the way of doing something for someone or doing a work for someone. And we're going to be talking about service, we're going to talk about validation, and we're going to talk about competence, right? Because these are the three key things that are in my topic, and I'm very excited to talk about it. So now we've talked about service. Let's talk about validation. What is validation? Validation is like a vote of confidence that is put upon someone. So validation is me saying, oh, I have worked with Tessie before, and I know that Tessie is good for this job. And I know that Tessie is a great candidate for this job. All right. So that way I have given validation to Tessie. I have given validation. I have validated Tessie's work. I have validated Tessie's capacity to fulfill that responsibility. Now, what is competence? Competence is the ability to do something efficiently and successfully, right? So when you say somebody is competent, it means that regardless of wherever they are, regardless of the situation they find themselves, regardless of the challenges that they're experiencing, they have the capacity to deliver efficiently and successfully. So they will go on that project and execute it to the very last without a hitch, without any hassle, because that person is a competent person. Now, for me, I would not want to work with someone who has not been able to show me that they have a level of competence in the capacity that I am seeking. So, for example, if I want an event planner because I have an event coming up very soon, I would not want to look for someone who has not even built their competence in the level of event planning or management. I want to speak with someone who has done it before, because I am rest assured that my event or my party or whatever I have planned will be successful, right? That this person will take up this responsibility and they will execute it effectively and efficiently. I want to start a business. Can everybody hear me? Am I still live? Okay.
Yes, ma, you are live.
All right. Okay. That's very good. Okay, so yeah, that's another validation. So me asking, am I live, and somebody saying yes, that's that's validation. Okay, so looking at how do you now validate your competence through service is where we're going to now. So remember, I explained service is the ability to do a work for someone or ability to carry out an action helping someone, right? The second thing is the validation is a vote of confidence. Is like saying, I trust this person. It's like repeatedly saying, I give this person the go ahead to go on with this. So when we all wanted to vote and people were voting obedience, and people were voting BAT, people had their different people that they wanted to vote for. It means that they were validating that person. So if Peter Obi at the time was coming in as president and everyone was supporting him, it meant that we were all validating that he has the competence to become the president. So that's exactly what we're talking about. And the next thing is your competence. Does he have the capacity to deliver successfully and efficiently? That's one of the things that you have to now look out for. So as a student, as a young person who's coming out of school, even not just coming out of school, as a young person in society, in the workplace, how do you validate your competence? How do you show that you're a competent person, regardless of where you are, regardless of who you are, regardless of the things that are happening around you? And this is where service comes in. Now, there are so many ways you can validate your competence. Now, I'm not saying that this is because we're talking about service, and because I love to think that service is the best way to gain more clarity about who you are, to gain more clarity about where you want to be and how you want to grow. You can pick up a job and do your job, and you're responsible for your activities, and in that process you're building your capacity, you're building your competence, and someone can give you a recommendation and say, oh, this person is doing very well, and I validate this person. But here's another way to get sure and guaranteed validation and sure and guaranteed competence, building your competence, is through service. So I'm getting out of school and I'm finding someone who I want to serve, who I see has a direction, the same direction that I want to go. And I'm looking at that person and saying, I want to serve this person. I'm not going there to tell the person, oh, please, can I clean your shoes every morning? Or can I help you carry your bag every day? Now, if that person doesn't want you to carry their shoes or clean their houses, it doesn't destroy the fact that you cannot serve them anymore. It doesn't say, oh, you can't serve them anymore. It means that the person does not think you'll be valuable to them in that place. Now, let me tell you what service does. Service doesn't only validate your competence, service also makes you a valuable person. So for you to be able to build competence and for you to be able to get validation, you need to show value. And the only way you can show value is through service. And we all have this idea of service is when I go clean this person's shoes, service is when I go carry this person's bag, and that is a wrong notion. Now, let me give you an example of what service is. When I got out of school, I already had a business that I was running while I was in school, and it was pretty successful at the time. And when I got out of school, I knew I wanted more. I knew something in me told me that you can't just come out of school and start a business. You needed to go into the workplace. You needed to learn. But how will I learn when, the entry-level jobs are not even looking good for entry-level students or entry-level people? And I needed somewhere I can be able to express myself, somewhere I can be able to learn adequately, somewhere I can be able to grow. So guess what? I found this place and I began to volunteer there. I went there and I said, hey, I'd like to volunteer. What are the options of volunteering? And they're like, oh, we have an opening in administration. You want to go and work in the admin team? And I said, yeah, sure. So I started working with the admin team. And while I was working there, because this is what a lot of people think. So I'm already volunteering, so coming to work every day, showing up is enough. It's not enough. So because I was volunteering and because I had colleagues as well who were being paid, I will go the extra mile to look at what other areas can I contribute value to this place that will make them know that Freda is here, or Freda was here if I eventually leave, right? So I started thinking, what is exactly this admin system that they don't have it all together, but I want to be able to be that person that they say, okay, when she was here, this was what she contributed. I started thinking. At the time, we seemed like we had it figured out in the admin department. We seemed like it was all good and everything was nice. But I started looking, I started researching. I didn't study administration in school. I studied computer science. So what concerns me with administration? I was already a volunteer, so why would I even be doing extra? If I could have just been going to work and, coming back after I'm a volunteer and I would learn, But guess what? When I started researching about administrative processes, how you can be a better administrator, I started, going on Google. I even looked for videos of people talking about how to be a better admin and all of that. I was a volunteer. I was not even an intern. So guess what? I came to the office after one weekend and I said, you know what? I think we should have a proper filing system. And they were like, what is a filing system? What method are you proposing? We used to have files everywhere. We can dump files everywhere. And when we want to look for one particular document, we can scatter the whole files and it will not be nice. So I said, okay, let's have a documenting system. We bought a book because at the time it was a lot we're working in government. So, government and papers everywhere. So we bought a book, a hardback notebook, and then I said, okay, let's bring out all the files and let's name them. in alphabetical order. So we had this cabinet that was looking like a dump site, and we said, okay, this one is for A to B, this one is for C to D, this one is for D to E, and we started arranging and, outlining the cabinet, and we labeled the cabinets, and it was so good. At the end of the day, the head of admin was like, this girl, where did you come up with this idea? It's so good. When we wanted to look for documents, it now became a thing. Nobody was stressed about documents. Now, there was another problem. Aside having a good documented cabinet of files, we had another issues of the files that we send out. How do we track them? How do we know that they are out there and they are not inside? Some people will tell us, oh, we've submitted your file back to you or to your office. So who exactly collects our files? So I came up again and I said, let's have another documenting system. We bought another hardback note. And I said, okay, for anybody who takes a file, they'll sign. For every office that we take a file to, they will sign, we will sign. That way, it kept us accountable. So if a file is missing or a file, we don't know where the file is, I will say, okay, oh, it's last landed in Mr. John's office. Mr. John's secretary even signed for it. And who was the person that took it there? Oh, it was Angela. Angela took it there. Because Angela signed for it. So now, there was a level of accountability in the administration. There was a level of system structure in the administration team. And it was easy. We're finding this easily. We're not running up and down. Everybody wasn't saying, hey, what's going to happen? Oh, that was me going extra. I could have rested and said, I'm the volunteer now. Let me just rest. Because of that one single act, people started saying, oh, Freda did this. Oh, Freda did that. Freda did this. Freda did that. And because Freda's name was always trending, it now became, oh, who is this Freda? And then one day I was in the office, and then my boss, who is always very busy and barely even sits in the office because she's always in meetings, she came and she said, are you being paid? And I said, no. And she told the other managers, and she said, this girl is not being paid and she's working like this. Then don't you think we start time will pay her? And that was the first day that I heard about payments. And that was the first, from that day till I was going, I started receiving my pay. So they now started paying me the internship salary. Of all the people who were volunteers, I was the only person who got elevated and started, earning at the time. Now, even when I was earning, trust me, it was a stipend. It was not even enough to cover my transportation. But I already had that volunteering spirit inside of me. And it was not just because I was a volunteer. It was because I was there to serve, right? I wasn't there because, oh, I want to go and volunteer so that I will have work experience. No. You have work experience, but you will not find your value. And that's one of the things that when I'm negotiating for opportunities today, I don't negotiate my work experience. I don't tell you people that, oh, I've worked 5 years, I've worked 7 years, I've worked 10 years. And that's why I want to be able to apply for this. So I want to, no. I am able to construct my value and sell my value and not the level of experience that I have. Now, one of the things service will do for you is it will enable you to think differently from your level. Now, imagine I was on a level with other volunteers, but by the time I was delivering tasks, because I was there to serve, I wasn't there to volunteer. I was not there to just do the work. I was there to create value. There are two different things. You have to know there's difference between doing the work and bringing value. You can do the work and go home, but value will be the thing that will make people say, this person was here. Oh, value will be the reason why they'll say, if this person was here, this would not have happened. I remember when eventually I took a break and I decided to go try out other things that I wanted to do and explore. And they kept telling me, Freda, if Madam always say, if Freda was here, this would not have happened. If Freda was here, this would not have been. Why? Because of the level of value that you have put into that place. If you're not valuable, you will never be noticed. And if you are not noticed, you will never be able to get that level of competence that you want to build. Yes, you will gain work experience. You have it in your CV, but you can never be a superstar and a high flyer if you've not gone over and beyond. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. If you want to be a high performer, you want to be somebody who has the capacity to deliver. You want to be someone who can successfully execute and efficiently deliver a task or a responsibility. Then you need to learn how to go the other way. You have to go over and beyond. And going over and beyond comes from a place of honor. A lot of people don't know this. Anybody can obey. That's one of the things that people don't know. Anybody can obey. If I tell somebody tomorrow, take this glass of water and take it to, Take it to Ibadan. Take this glass of water to Ibadan. And this person takes the glass of water to Ibadan. If the person is grumbling, if the person is whining, complaining, as long as the water is already getting to Ibadan, it means the person has obeyed that instruction. That is obedience. That's one of the things that people think, oh, he disobeyed because he grumbled. No. Did he complete the task? Was the task completed? Was the person able to meet the expectation? Yes. Did he take the water to Ibadan as I instructed? Yes. But guess what? This is what honor is. Honor is, I say, take this bottle of water to Ibadan, right? And leave it there. And then this person goes to Ibadan and realizes that, maybe my boss would also want a plate and a spoon. Why? Because if you are there to serve, you will always find the things. Your eyes will always be open to the things that are not always complete. I don't know how I'm going to explain this to you again, but service is different from working. I've told you before, it's two different things. When you are serving, you are exposing yourself to other information that sometimes are not even told. But when you are working, you are only doing what you are told. And sometimes what you are told limits your capacity. What you are told sometimes, what you are told to do sometimes limits your capacity. But when you are serving, it expands your capacity. Now, when you are expanding your capacity, you begin to see more. And that's where your value comes from. And that's where you are building competence. And someone who sees that competence or see you performing in that manner can now say, I believe this person can function like this. And I validate this person. I am giving this person my vote of confidence. If I haven't seen you perform in a capacity, if I only know that you only do what you are told, I will always tell you what to do. Because I feel like you don't think beyond that capacity you're in. Service stretches you. Service opens you up to a level of information that will necessarily not be told to anyone. Now, let's go back to the example. I tell this person, take the cup to, to Ibadan, right? And I say, and this person goes to Ibadan and keeps the cup. But instead of just dropping the cup there, they now say, this cup is going to be exposed. I don't want anybody to drink from this water, or I don't want this water to be dirty. So what I would do is I would keep it somewhere that will be safe, so that when my boss comes, they will not find any issues with this cup. Another person who is working will take the cup and drop it in Ibadan. But someone who is serving will see that if I drop this cup in Ibadan like this, something might happen. So I want to be able to protect this water so that my boss will have something to come back to. It means that you are not just thinking about the water because it's an instruction. You are thinking about the person who gave you the instruction. That is what service is about. This is the best explanation I can give you about service. Service is not, I'm working, I'm carrying this person's laptop, I serve here, I'm volunteering and go a bit further Africa. Okay, what makes you valuable? What makes you valuable is I'm volunteering with Go a Bit Further Africa, And I've noticed that there are some things that are not functioning very well. But here's what I can do. I've noticed that Mr. Andrew gets overwhelmed in this area. So my job is to make sure that whenever those things are coming up, I have solutions for them. I have solutions to tackle those kind of things. So when Andrew doesn't experiences that level of overwhelm anymore, he now sees that Jessica is managing this thing, and this is the reason why we don't get overwhelmed anymore. Now he looks at Jessica, and Jessica is not just somebody who is doing it because she wants to do it. That's another thing that people fail to understand. Consistency. Consistency is key when you are serving. Like I said, anybody can do the work, but not everybody will do the work with extra information. Everybody can do the work, but not everybody will do the work with extra information. So what will set you apart is that extra thing. What will set you apart is that small thing that you say, oh, I took a step further. I went a bit further. I am going a bit further. All right. So yeah, that thing there is what will set you apart. That thing is what will make you a valuable person. Right. And then consistency. You don't just come today and then you don't come tomorrow. And you say, oh, I'm a valuable person in the office, so I contribute. Yes, like I said, you are a worker. You are not a contributor. Anybody can work. Not everybody is a contributor. You should be able to differentiate yourself from, am I a worker or am I a contributor? A contributor is someone who sees it as theirs, who said, this is my boss. I can be boss to everybody. Even in my own team, I know the people that I am their boss. I know the people that they know that I am their boss, because they're like, I thought about this and I came up with this idea and I'm not stressed. I'm not even bothered and thinking about all those things. And I'm like, okay, this person is there. And that consistency, because I am the leader, makes me understand that whenever anything happens, I can rely on this person. If you are somebody that cannot be relied on, you have not built your level of competence. You have only gotten your level of experience. Because you did the job. Did you work? Yes. Did you function? Yes. Were you a contributor? That's up to you to decide. That's up to you to answer. All right. So service, right, is going beyond the ordinary. Go from doing basic work to being a valuable person, right? And being a valuable person means that you are a contributor. Let's go to the Bible, where the master had 3 servants. We're going to use the Bible as a reference. I always use the Bible as a reference because I feel like everything that we are living today has a reference, has been referenced in the Bible one way or another. So if you don't look at the principles that are in the Bible, you will miss out on some things that you should be able to do. Now, the 3 servants had, they were working for their boss, Abi, and this Oga said, oh, I'm traveling, okay, let me see. I have Paul, I have Jessica, and I have Trisha. So, Paul, I will give you 10 talents. And Paul says, oh, thank you, sir. God bless you. And Trisha, I'll give you 5 talents. Oh, thank you. God bless you, sir. And what's the next one? Jessica, I'll give you, how many talents did they give him? I think it's 1. Now, this is what the first one did. Worked with his own and decided to bring more. Second one did the same thing. The third one, instead of him to go and work on his own and build his own capacity, what did he do? He went and hid it. He went and said, oh, there's no need now. This is my Oga self. Look at the small thing that he gave to me. Look at the small, how will he tell me to take this 1 talent? Right? Service. Let me give you what I learned from that particular parable in the Bible. It means that when the master was leaving, these 3 people are servants. It means that they must have served. But their level of capacity or their level of competence, right, was by how he validated them based on their level of competence. The validation was with the talents that he gave them. So if servant 1 had built a level of competence to accommodate 10 talents, then the master validated him with 10 talents. If the second servant had the capacity to, or the competence of 5 talents, the master already validated him with 5 talents. The same thing with the one with 1 talent. Let's say the one with 1 talent is somebody that the master has been watching for a while and say, okay, maybe this person has prospects. Let me just give him this talent to validate him. But this person is like, this validation is not enough. Instead of me to become a valuable player, I'm just going to do the work that they gave me. I'll just rest. That's exactly what we young people do today. We say, no. Nobody should stress me. Nobody should give me any work. I'll just do the one that I know how to do. I'll just rest. Nobody, imagine, you want to use work to kill me in this place. And because I say I want to come and volunteer here, not me that they should come and kill me. I beg me, I'll just chill. I'll just do the one. They say is social media I'll be managing. Well, I will manage it. I'll be all right. You're not adding value. You're not contributing. But are you getting work experience? In your CV, you will always write, I was in social media there. Is that proof? Yes. Did you do it? Yes. But were you a contributor? Are you somebody that when you leave tomorrow, they will say, hey, Angela left. Oh my God. We feel very bad for Angela leaving. Angela should not have left. If Angela was here, this would not have happened. If Angela was here, everything would have been better. This would have been well coordinated. Remember I said that competence is the ability to successfully and efficiently deliver. Some people have not even gotten to efficiently and successfully. They just know how to deliver. If you do work, you will be able to deliver. If you serve, you will be able to efficiently deliver. Because why? Service opens you up to a lot more information. Now, when I began to serve, and when I was in that same organization, like I was sharing my story before, and I started, my boss took a very serious interest in me. And she's like, this girl is young. This girl is fantastic. You know, she's a high performer. That's what they used to call me, a high flyer. And not just because I was a high flyer, because, I know how to carry work on my head. No, I know how to do the things that they were expecting me to do, but they did not tell me to do. So when you are serving, there come a time where your capacity, like when the servants received the talents, when this master had given them, the master did not tell them, take this talent and go and trade with it. You know, he did not tell them that. You know, the master did not say, go and use this talent to get more talents. He didn't tell them that. He only entrusted them with the talent. He told them, take this 10 talents, you take 5, you take this. So that I entrust it in your hands. When I come back, you give me. Right? But guess what? These servants, the first one said, let me go ahead and do more with this talent I was given. When the master came, what did he say? Thou good and faithful servant. Did the master say anything about, oh wow, you know I told you that you should go and trade with it, and you really traded with it and came back with more? Oh, nice. Did he say that? No. He said, thou good and faithful servant. You know why? Because service will open your eyes to the things that when you are serving, and when you are serving genuinely, I'm not talking about work. Service is different from work. When you are serving, your eyes will be open to the things that you should do. Your eyes will be open to the things that you have to do. Remember when I was starting my example, I told somebody, take this water to Ibadan. And this person took the water to Ibadan and left it there. I told another person, take this water to Ibadan. And this second person took this water to Ibadan. And then instead of leaving the water there, they were like, I don't know how my boss will feel about coming and just meeting this water here. So let me keep this water somewhere. Maybe my boss, this is the water that my boss is supposed to drink. If by the time my boss gets here, the water will be hot and she's traveling under the sun. So let me put this water in the fridge. Let me find a way to cool this water. Let me find a way to keep this water. If this is the water that my boss wants to use to wash her hands or wash her face, then it shouldn't be anywhere. Let me keep this water somewhere that it is safe. The difference between the two people is that one did the work because it was an instruction. The second one did the work because it was an instruction, but went ahead to honor the person who gave that instruction. And that's what service does for you. By the time I come back and I'm looking at the people who took the water to Ibadan, who do you think I will appreciate more? I'm sure you already have said it in your mind, or you are saying it now. I definitely will be looking out for the person who was preserving the water and thinking about me that gave the instruction. That's what service does. So when I'm looking and saying, I need to promote somebody tomorrow, in somebody that has capacity to deliver, somebody that has capacity to think beyond the instruction, I will always look at that person who did the most. I will always look for that person who did the most. And now if you are somebody who does the most in a consistent manner, not somebody who is serving with high service. Remember, there are some people that it's only when their madam is around or when they see somebody, they'll be like, oh my God, what can I do for you? I've been trying to call you. I always used to text you on Instagram. I do this and I do that. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Those people, high service, it doesn't take you anywhere. It doesn't go beyond that. You are still doing basic work. You are still working. You are still doing the basic things. When you become a contributor, you begin to exercise your value. You begin to expose yourself to so many things. And that's it. Let me give you something. By the time you are doing the work or the person who is going the extra mile, imagine those two people now, if they put it in their CV, this one say, transported water from Lagos to Ibadan. But this one will say, transported water from Lagos to Ibadan, ensuring also that the water was preserved. If somebody is looking at that CV, they'll be like, this person has done more work. This person has done work, it's good work. But this person has something extra. If you look at my CV, you will see the extras. There are even things that I did not work on directly, but because I am the person who has built capacity, or who is the person who goes the extra mile to make sure that these things work out or these things are done properly, I have those details in my CV. I have those details saying, I did this, I contributed to this, I was the one that did this, I was the one that did that during this initiative, during this service, when they were planning go a bit further Africa. I was not just there. I was contributing. This is my contribution. I went the extra mile to do this. So you can see how service opens you up to your competence, opens you up to your value. And when you have built your value over time, you begin to contribute. It is easy for somebody to validate you. It is easy. You and I know that if somebody is not competent to be president, we will not vote for the person. Neither are we going to even campaign or say, hey, I want to vote for this person. We will just say, who is this person? Please go away. But when somebody is competent, when somebody has shown contribution to say, I want to be president, and we can see the track record. When you serve, you have track record. When you work, you have performance. It's just what it is. When you serve, you gain track record because it's like you are putting your footprints on the floor. You are creating your footprints. It's there. That track record can never be beaten by anybody because everybody will keep saying, if this person was here, this would have not happened. If this person was here, this would have not happened. But guess what? If you are just working, what you are doing is you're just building your performance. You're just building your performance. Can you perform on that responsibility? Yes. If anybody gives you the same opportunity, you will perform. But for somebody who has served, you have track record. If somebody gives you the same responsibility, you will not just be showing them that you can perform. You will show them that you are competent to deliver, because while you can even do it in your sleep. And it's easy to get validation. It's easy for people to validate you. Why? Because you have served. So the fundamentals of service comes with giving value. I said the first thing is you have to be valuable. You have to go from doing basic work to being a contributor, right? When you are valuable, it means that you're contributing. So you have to be valuable. You have to find, how can I be valuable? Okay, beyond just working in this position, how do I make myself somebody of impact in this position? That's everything you should be thinking about. I don't just want to work. I want this work to be impactful in this organization. I want this work, no matter how small it is, even if it's as small as I will be giving my boss a bottle of water. I will make sure that my boss is never thirsty. I see that my boss doesn't even drink water in a day. I will be making sure of that. That's value. That is value. If you're doing it in you're exposing yourself to that, that's value. That's you taking responsibility for something that is beyond work. That's one. So being valuable. Number two, value means going the extra mile. So you should be ready to go the extra mile. So fundamentals of service means you're ready to go the extra mile. So because sometimes you can see the things that you're supposed to do and you even do it, right? And you even, by the time you even do it, you are still valuable. But when you go over and beyond and somebody's like, wow, I see something so different about this lady. This girl, she's so passionate. She does this very she's really good. You're going over and beyond. Oh, they told her to do this thing. Can you imagine that she took it upon herself to sit down and arrange this thing very well? Oh, they told her to put the clothes in the drawer. She did not just pack all of them and put them in the drawer, because that's work. But instead, she made sure she folded them. She even ironed them and arranged them in a way that when anybody takes any clothes from there, that place will not be scattered. That's going extra mile, right? That's doing more. So I've talked about being valuable. I've talked about going the extra mile. The third one is consistency. Don't be a show up today and not show up tomorrow kind of person. Be a person that regardless of the situation, you will show up. One of the things that I have learned about myself, and one of the things that my bosses and previous people have worked with, and they will keep saying it, that Freda, anything that is happening, the only time that Freda would not be there is when she's seriously sick, when she cannot raise her head up. But Freda is a show-up person. I even received an award one time in one of my offices for being a show-up person, for always showing up. My boss even did a post when he was wrapping up the year, and he said, for Freda, who always shows up, I am that show-up person. You will always find me coming up, whether it is good, whether it is bad, because I am a valuable team player, because I am a contributor and I'm not just a worker. I will show up. Consistency puts you in the eyes of people. Consistency will make people, when people are looking for someone who will manage responsibilities, bigger responsibilities, you become top of mind. Why? Because you are always showing up. But if you show up today and you don't show up tomorrow, it will only make them know that, okay, this person, we don't even see her all the time, but when she comes, she does good work. Oh, when she comes, oh, wow, everywhere is fantastic. But after that day, it goes back to zero, right? So you are not top of mind. Consistency will put you on top of mind. So I've talked about being valuable. I've talked about going the extra mile. I've talked about consistency, right? And then the fourth one is authenticity. A lot of people just, they can contribute value, they can be valuable, but you're not true to yourself. Is that really what you want to do? Some people are serving because they feel like, oh, let me just serve. Oh, because I like this woman. And they are serving because they like this man. They are serving because, this man, if I need connection, he will help me. You're not serving because you have a trajectory for yourself. You're not serving because you are authentic to yourself. Serve because you find a path, and that path is good for you. And you see someone who already is in that path for your growth, and you are serving. That's authenticity. That's where service now becomes a key player. I'm not saying don't serve anywhere. You can actually serve to get to that point. But in your service, be authentic. Be authentic. Be true to yourself. If I'm serving now, where would this service land me on? Let me tell you something that I found online recently. And it says, the bad mentor see you as building their brand, and they take credit for your success. So when you're working with someone or you're serving someone, they might take credit and say, oh, this person is doing very well. They'll give you more work to do. They'll be like, when you are doing the work, they'll say, oh, it's because I'm giving her work. That's why she's doing it. And when you are even talking about it, like, oh, I can do this, they'll be like, hey, it's not me that helped you. If I didn't give you a place to work, will you have been able to build your skill or competence? That's somebody who is not ready for your growth. Now, secondly, a good mentor sees you as a younger version of themselves, and they want to help you follow in their footsteps. Now, one thing that I told myself I will never do is follow in the footsteps of other people, because I want to be able to put my own footprint on the floor, on the ground. I want to have my own footprint. I want people to say, this is Freda's footprint. I don't want them to say, this is Freda with a mix of Ibuku Awashika. I'm not sure if it's Ibuku Awashika or Freda. Do you understand? That's because you as a person should have your own personality. Build your own personality. It helps you in building your authentic self. Now, the third one is a great mentor sees your potential to be a better version of themselves, of yourself, and they help you follow your path. Now, somebody who is a good mentor and somebody who you are serving and knows that this person is serving, they're not there to come and say, oh, I see you are going the same places I'm going to. I don't want to go to the same place you are going to, man. I want to be my own self. I want to be my own person, right? So what they do is they take you and they help your potential. Now, in the course of service, I found a great mentor. You will not know who is going to mentor you if you haven't served. And that's the thing about service. You wouldn't know who will mentor me, who will be the best mentor. Okay, who is a bad mentor and who is a good mentor if you haven't served, if you haven't been a contributor. And it's only when you have decided to be a contributor, that's where you can now know and differentiate to say, okay, this doesn't fall into the roadmap or the plan that I have for myself. I hope everyone is following, and I hope you're all taking this down. So, someone who sees your potential and says, this girl is Freda, and she has the capacity to deliver. This is how I see her. I see her becoming a leader in this light. I see her become, this person who is a great mentor will not even come and ask you, let me tell you what I see for you. They will ask you, what are your own personal goals? They will even help you set your own goals. They will help you. Till today, my mentor will call me and ask me, what are your financial goals? We had a conversation just before this session, and I was talking to her and I said, I've cut down this thing, I've cut down this, because we had a conversation about finances. That is for somebody who is a great mentor, who has seen my potential and saying, if you go like this, where you are saying you want to be, you might not end up being that way. So let me help you now so that you can follow the path that you have chosen for yourself. This person will not come and tell you, when you say, I want to be a singer, they'll tell you, singing is not a good thing, though. Let me tell you what worked for me. What worked for me is graphic design. So go and do graphic design. Do you understand? You need to be able to differentiate. So when you are authentic with yourself, you would even know the people that you have in your corner that are pushing you to be your best self. You will not know about how to be your best self if you have not been authentic with yourself. Tell yourself the hard truth. Don't be delusional. Delulu is nothing, no, it will not take you anywhere. Be authentic. Tell yourself the real truth. I used to tell people that denial syndrome is a thing. I came up with the name and I said denial syndrome. Denial syndrome is when you know that something is not working and then you tell yourself it is working. When you know that this thing now, this volunteering thing is not getting me anywhere, it's not giving me opportunities, it's not making me build my capacity. I'm not even contributing value to this place. I'm just wasting my time when I should be somewhere else doing other better things. Tell yourself the truth. Because we talk more about volunteering doesn't mean that you should jump on the bandwagon. Tell yourself the real hard truth. If the volunteering is for you to waste your time, fix yourself up and look for other opportunities where you can be more useful. Don't just join because everybody's saying they are volunteering for this particular person and you say, oh, let me still join so that I will use it to post on Instagram. We are too much in the age where everybody wants to post on Instagram to show that they are performing or they are doing something. Jump out of that bandwagon and find your own path. So authenticity. So I've mentioned be valuable. I've mentioned go the extra mile. I've talked about consistency. And then the final one is be authentic. Your authenticity will help you. When you're authentic with yourself, you'll be able to build your consistency. When you're authentic with yourself, you'll be able to go the extra mile. When you're authentic with yourself, you begin to contribute, you begin to give value. And all this builds your competence. All this helps you to become a better servant. All this will expose you to enough validation for your competence. All right. So I hope that I have been able to share as much as possible.